This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. All That's Left to Love by Steele. Chapter 1. The Wolves at the Door. Evie. The mountains were too quiet. Not the kind of quiet that brought peace, but the kind that made your skin prickle and your pulse tick up like it sensed something watching. It was the hush before a landslide, the breath between lightning and thunder. A silence that didn't soothe, it waited. I sat with my back against the front post of the porch, the cold bite of steel snug in my hands. The bolt-action rifle had once belonged to my grandfather, and I had rebuilt it myself last winter with salvaged parts and stripped-down patience. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't smart, but it would kill anything with a heartbeat if I needed it to. The sun had dropped behind the ridge 20 minutes ago, leaving behind burnt orange and bruised violet streaks. Shadows stretched long across the treetops, and the gravel drive below me curled like a snake in the dying light. The homestead sat quiet at the top of the hill, tucked against a clearing rimmed with pine and bramble. Remote, hardened, mine. It had been safe until now. My stomach coiled as the distant growl of tires on rock reached my ears. I didn't shift, didn't stand, just lifted the rifle a little higher on my lap and waited. This was a mistake. Hiring strangers. Inviting men back into my world after working so hard to make myself disappear, and bringing wolves to my door when I had built this place to keep them out. But I didn't have a choice anymore, and I knew it. The world outside the ridge was unraveling. The cities had gone dark, and I had seen the signs coming weeks before anyone else. I had enough supplies to last another 2 months if I rationed hard. Maybe longer if I gave up on sleeping, but no amount of prep could change the simple fact that I was one woman with a gun and a generator, and whatever was coming, it wasn't something I could face alone. So I had called in a favor. The SUV came into view, crawling up the last curve in the road. Matte black, reinforced, no lights on. Just like I'd asked, it stopped at the base of the gate, engine idling low. I rose slowly, bracing one hand on the porch rail, rifle still cradled in my grip. I didn't speak, didn't wave, just waited and watched. The driver's door opened first. The man who stepped out was tall, broad-shouldered, and built like a storm in human form. His hair was dark, his jaw shadowed in stubble, and he moved with that sharp precision I had seen in real soldiers, no wasted motion. No nerves. He looked up at me without blinking, then turned to signal the others. The second emerged from the passenger side. Younger, rougher around the edges, muscular, with tattoos peeking out from beneath rolled sleeves. His beard was trimmed short, but his smile was crooked, boyish in a way that didn't quite match the intensity in his eyes. Those eyes never stopped moving. They flicked to the tree line, the porch, the mountains beyond. The last man stepped out of the rear. He didn't make a sound. He was leaner and narrower in frame, but something about him raised my hackles. His eyes were pale and unreadable, like the glassy surface of a winter lake. He carried no visible weapons, but every line of him said danger. Not just the kind you ran from, but the kind that hunted you in your dreams. I didn't like the way he looked at me. I liked even less the way my chest tightened when he did. I said, "One vehicle," I called down. My voice rang clear, sharp with warning. No drones, no trackers, no comms. The tall one, Reese, I remembered, lifted his hand slowly and held up a beat-up analog radio. The kind my father used to keep in his truck. No tech, just gear, weapons, and bodies. I stared at him for a long second.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.